Good afternoon, welcome back to this demo of Influence Desktop. In today's demo, I'm going to be doing a live lab of how to do text classification in Influence. So what I will be doing is I'll be taking a small table of data that I generated that is intended to represent chatbot utterances from customers on a website looking for help, and we're going to be classifying that data to identify which support group the customers should be routed to based off of the intent of what they were asking for in the chatbot. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and open up the project that I started for this. So what I have done is I've imported my data. I have a training set and I have the test set that I'm evaluating. So I guess we can start with looking at the data. So I open it up here and we have two tables, as you can see. This one just has three utterances that we're going to be scoring, but we could of course add more, any number. But I'll look at the training data. So I only have three classes. So this is a pretty simple demo. But the first class is contact. So the name of the class that I've given it is contact, but it has things like I want to talk to somebody, what's the phone number to contact, how do I get in touch with someone via email. This is just represents customers who are looking to get in touch with somebody or a representative or speak one-on-one with someone from your company. Manage subscription, this is what you would expect: unsubscribe, resubscribe, cancel my membership, what's my membership tier, all of that good stuff. And finally, order status. So how do I cancel an order? Where's my package? What's my order date? So these are our three classes. And what we're going to be doing is going to be looking at these utterances in the test data, and we'll be assigning one of those three classes to each of these using machine learning. So you can see that these each of these utterances are representative of one of these other classes, but they're not exactly contained in that training data. So that's the important part. So to get this done, we only need one tool, and that is in the text and language tab, and it's the text classification tool here. So I'll drag it down, I'm going to drop it at the end of the flow. Double click on the icon to open it, or alternately you can right click and click configure. So the first thing that we need to do here is we need to define the training data. As you'll recall, it's contained in the training table, and the column with our utterances, or the column with our text values, is utterance. So these are our training values, and our training class, or a class label, is intent. So we'll leave that as is. And then we do want to apply this onto some data as well. So we're going to apply this to our test table, and the column that we're going to evaluate is the utterance column. Our data is not already tokenized. As we saw, it's just basic text data, and we're not going to score this. We're just going to classify. Okay, so now the other options that we have here is we have to pick an algorithm, SVM or naive Bayes. I'm going to stick with SVM, and we do have the option to save the classifier and vectorizer that's trained into the project if you wanted to export it and then use it in a chatbot. So you could actually use this to train a text classification model that you could then export along with the vectorizer, an important component there. And you could use both of those trained models, or both of those classifiers in your code base to create a real-time text classification service. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to not do that. We're going to train and classify, or train and score, in the same flow. So this is just a batch process that we're doing here. So no need to save or export this model for use later. So I will deselect that. And the last thing we have to do is we have to give it a class label column name that will be output into the test data column. So I'll go ahead and I'll just say assign class. All right, and we should be good. Let's save it. Sure enough, so the bar turned yellow, so we might be ready to run this. Let's give it a shot. All right, it looks like it completed. Let's see what happened. So we head over to our test data set. Okay, cool. So it obviously worked. We have this new column, assigned class, and for each of these utterances, after training the model on the training set, it assigned a class to the utterance. So when does my subscription renew? Has been assigned the class of managed subscription. I want delivery updates on my package is order status, and I want to speak with someone on the phone is assigned as the contact class. Obviously, those are all correct. Of course, we wouldn't expect 100% accuracy if there was many more classes or if there was many more utterances that we were testing against, but just doing 3 utterances, pretty high chance of getting them all right, and of course we did. So great. So that basically wraps up how to achieve this. What we can do now is I'll pop back in here and I'll just switch to a different algorithm. I'll try the naive Bayes algorithm here. Rerun this, and let's make sure that we're still happy with the results. Looks like nothing changed here, no surprise. Okay, cool. And now just so you can sort of so we can verify that this is really using that model to score, what we can do is I can actually go to data sources and I can say enter data, and I'll drop it above here, and I can create a new table. Utterances. There we go. And we'll just write some things in here. My order was late. I want to reorder something that never arrived. And let's think of something else. Maybe my membership fee is too high. Can I lower it? Okay, so now we have this additional table of more utterances with 3 more that I've entered here in real time that we can go ahead and classify. So all we need to do here is we need to switch to this new table to classify, save and run. If we pop back to our data, now we can see that maybe this is a sign that we need to adjust our training data a little bit. So my order was late, that worked out, but I want to reorder something that never arrived, was classified as contact. So maybe we need to examine our training data and see if we're actually covering all of the use cases that we would expect in our utterances that we wish to classify as contact. And this membership fee is too high, can I lower it? It looks like we were successful in classifying that as a question related to managing a subscription. Cool. All right, so this has been a demo of how to do text classification in Influence for Desktop. Hope this was valuable. Really recommend that you jump in here, get some data, maybe download some things off of Twitter, classify them and train a model and experiment with this. See if you can get value out of it, see if you can make it work. Experiment with the ways in which properly formatting or covering all your bases in your training data can really help you to train a more accurate and more reliable model. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.